Hey, Miss All Stars. Y'all good? Good to see you again. So, today I want to talk about a book that I co authored about, it's almost 5 years ago. Some of you will remember it because you purchased it, you read it, you shared it with others, you supported it. And some of you, this may be the first time that you're hearing about it. But you heard correctly, Miss All is a published author. And is. I realized that I hadn't given space on the podcast to talk about the book, the writing behind it, the heart behind it, and what it still means to me today. So, today, that's what we're going to talk about. The title of the book is Love, Lies, and Lessons. It was a collaborative project that I worked on with 10 other women. Each of us wrote a chapter of the book, so there's 10 chapters in the book. And we were women from all across the country who come from different walks of life. And each of us wrote our chapter writing from our own lived experiences. So here's the book, Love, Lies, and Lessons. And this is all of the women that co authored the book on the back. And there's Miss All. As I said, each of us wrote from one of the themes, either love, lies, or lessons. I chose lessons. And not the tidy, feel good lessons, but the kind that came from living life, messing up, and getting back up and trying again. And the title of my chapter is All Things Work Together for Our Good. So even though it was written 5 years ago, my chapter reached much further back in my life. It came from a formative season in my life, one that shaped how I see myself even today, how I navigate relationships, and how I face adversity and challenges even to this day. It was me penning what my past taught me. And when writing the chapter, I didn't feel pressured to sound wise or profound or like this great author. It was just me asking myself some simple questions and penning them on paper. So some of the things that I asked myself when writing the chapter was, what did I learn? What do I wish I understood sooner? And how can I encourage others through my lessons learned? And I just let the answers to those questions and others hit the paper. The lessons for me were about inner strength, discernment, trusting myself even when the road ahead wasn't clear. And at that time that I was writing the chapter, I didn't consider the chapter anything monumental. It was just me telling my truth as clearly as I knew how. And I was putting a voice to things that I had lived, wrestled with, and already survived. I had never done anything like that before, so co-authoring a book was something new that we've talked about a few times on some previous episodes, but it was something new for me that I was brave enough to take on. So the reason that I just walked out my truth is probably why the chapter still feels relevant to me now. I wasn't trying to be anything else except Lorna, aka Miss All, telling her story. And when I wrote this, when I co authored this book, This book became another example of the resilience and the tenacity inside of me, even when I doubt myself or have seasons of uncertainty. I shared my truth publicly. It was a bit uncomfortable to be transparent, but I did it without knowing everything would turn out and without waiting for absolute certainty. Sometimes we talk about our past selves like he or she didn't know anything, but your past self knew enough. He or she knew enough to survive. He or she knew enough to get up and try again when you failed. So, the reason I wanted to revisit my book, Love, Lies, and Lessons, is because its purpose still holds true. Someone watching now might be revisiting old lessons themselves. And revisiting a lesson does not mean that you missed it or you missed the message the first time. Sometimes it means life is asking you to apply it again. You might be wondering if your wisdom you gained earlier in your life still counts. It does. You may be wondering if it's okay to reintroduce something that you've created years ago. It is. Time doesn't cancel your past. It builds on it. So I decided again just to bring my book back up. I've read it again myself. I read it periodically, but I read the stories again. And it was just a reminder, as I said previously, of the tenacity that lives inside of me. So if you've never read Love, Lies, and Lessons, or if you'd like to revisit Love, Lies, and Lessons, again, I invite you to go to my website, lornamwilliams.com, and to order your personally autographed copy from me. I will also put the website in the description, and it'll come up on the bottom of the screen in just a few minutes. But I invite you to my website and place your order for Love, Lies, and Lessons and hear the story of Lorna's lessons that she feels is relevant today. It was relevant in the past, and it'll be relevant in the future. So, thank you for holding space in your life for reflection and honoring the lessons that shaped both you and me and made us who we are today. So I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Miss All is a published author. Love, Lies, and Lessons. Check her out. See y'all in 2 weeks. And the world's all right with me. Yeah. Just one